Hey teachers, it's Kristen. I'm here with some more information about Bloomboard. Today we're going to talk about setting up your professional learning goals, your PLG. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to log into Bloomboard. Remember that the login for Bloomboard uses your @Westonka address, and the default is Westonka 2014. But if you've logged into Bloomboard at least once, it probably prompted you to change your password. So when you get into Bloomboard, it's going to take you to the home screen. And what I would suggest if you're setting up your professional learning goals is you go up here to observations and meetings. And the first thing you should probably do is review that self-assessment that you did earlier this year. So I'm going to take a look at my self-assessment, and this is going to help me to pick 3 goals that are going to be part of my professional learning goals for the year. So I'm going to look at things that are either in the meets, the developing, or the needs improvement. And I'm going to make note of that because I'm going to be tagging the different parts of the rubric to my goals. Once I've taken a look at that and I know where my goal areas are, I'm going to go back to the home page and scroll down. And down here at the bottom, you're going to see something that says Ready to Plan Your Goals, or your SLOs. That actually should say SLGs. I'm going to click on it. And when I do, up at the top I'm going to see goal planning. There's the professional goals, those are your personal goals, your individual goals, and then there's the student learning goals. And we're going to talk about student learning goals in the next video. You'll notice these note cards up here at the top. Those can be skipped. They're just part of the Bloomboard template, but you certainly could click on them and put in your areas of strength or your areas for growth if you wanted a place to keep track of those in Bloomboard. But I'm going to go down here to the goal area. Now you can see I've already started some of my goals, and I'm going to click on one so that you can see what I've done. One of my goals this year is to post and explain learning targets. So if I go and click on the details, I can align this goal with the 17 indicators. If I'm a non-classroom teacher, I would use this rubric. Or as a classroom teacher, I can click on the different descriptors that are going to connect to my goal. You'll probably just have one indicator connected to each goal. So you can see that my first goal aligns with the first indicator of identify standards and learning targets for instruction and assessment. Then I'm going to write down some activities. What activities or evidence do you plan to complete to reach your goal? I'm going to post my learning targets on Schoology. I'm going to post them at the beginning of class. I'm going to discuss the target prior to and after assessments. And then at the end of the year, how will I know that that goal has been attained? I'm going to ask students if they can explain their own learning targets. I might have visual evidence if you come into my classroom or you look on Schoology. So those are going to be the kinds of things that I'll know whether or not I was able to meet my goal. And then when I go back to the home page, you'll see your goals here at the bottom. So here's my second goal. I've started that goal, but I haven't tagged it to anything. So again, I'm going to go in and align this to one of the indicators. And as I look down here, one of the indicators is going to be use data to include assessments of student knowledge. So I'm going to save that. And then activities that I'm going to do to reach my goal. I'm going to do weekly formative assessments in Schoology. I'm going to use the data in Schoology to help plan my lessons and review. And I may come back here later and decide to add additional activities. And then how will I measure the attainment of this goal? I'm going to track the number of assessments that I do. And I might even keep a journal of the changes I make to my lessons based on the data that I've tracked. So again, as you're thinking about how you're going to measure that, you may decide to go back in here later. Maybe you think of another activity that you're going to do. Maybe after a while I decide that I'm going to add in formative assessments using another tool. Maybe I'm going to do some Kahoots as well. I'm going to add in formative assessments. So you can go ahead and add to this as you go along. And again, then if you go back to the home page, you'll see your goals. The goal is to have 3 professional learning goals that are tied to the teacher evaluation model. And in the next video, I'm going to go over how to access and write up your SLG. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of how to get your 3 goals done for your professional learning goals. If you have any questions, you can certainly contact me or any of the TILT members for extra assistance in Bloomboard.